Good evening, everyone. This is Mason Sims, and welcome to another episode of our show. Joining us this evening is Clay Counts. He is the current chairman of the Pickens County GOP Club, and he's going to share some of his experiences with that and also his thoughts on the most recent elections, including national, state government, municipal elections, etc. Also, just a reminder that I will be in the Christmas parade on December the 14th. So after the parade, feel free to talk with me if you want to discuss any issues that's going on in your area and also suggestions for upcoming episodes. And again, my name is Mason Sims, and let's get started. Good evening, everybody. Here with me, I have Clay Counts. He is the chairman for the Pickens County Republican Club. Clay, thank you for agreeing to join us this evening.
Absolutely, Mason. I appreciate you having me. Excited to be here.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff too going on with the presidential election. Seems like a lot of positive things have happened.
It has. It's been a good stretch for us in the GOP for sure.
Yeah, and the one thing I was going to ask you is I see a lot of posts on Facebook in the past month. So I just have a few questions to ask you. The first one that I have is, how did you first get involved into local politics?
So it's been a long journey on my end. I started my involvement in politics at a young age. I was in ninth grade and I joined youth and government at Liberty High School. So I've been in Liberty schools my whole life. Had some friends that encouraged me to join that, mostly for the field trip more than anything. Youth and government, we have a model legislator down in at the state house. You have a upper chamber and lower chamber, just like you would in real government. You debate laws, write laws, pass them to the governor. So it's really like a model legislator all through and through. So I got involved in youth and government in ninth grade. Really enjoyed it. Had a lot of fun. Went back every year. And as I was going through, I began to have a greater and greater interest in it. So even at the high school age, I began volunteering on local campaigns. And from there, I began running my own campaigns. Anything from a local government seat like city council all the way up to volunteering in congressional races. So really got my feet wet at a young age and haven't stopped since.
Yeah, you helped Davey Hyatt out quite a bit.
That's right. Davey was the first one I started with. I was actually friends with his daughter, Sally. We were about the same age. So she was able to introduce us, and I began volunteering with Davey back when I was probably about 14, 15 years old. So I started back in the high school days and really got to enjoy it. He's been a great mentor of mine and has certainly taught me a lot.
So yeah, he probably got a lot of experience with the phone calling and canvassing.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Phone calling, door knocking, canvassing, and putting signs in the ground. Put a few of those in the ground my day.
Yeah, this past campaign I did, I learned all that.
Oh, yeah. Well, you did a wonderful job. You got out there. I saw you out there, putting your name up there. It's like a bunch of signs out. I know you to the forums to notice. So good on you for getting out there and doing that.
Appreciate it. Yeah, and I hope that when you decide to run for something as well, do well.
Thank you.
Yeah, and the second question I have is, how has it been during the first term as chairman of the Pickens GOP?
It's been great. So we spend a lot of time having candidate forums. That's something I'm real passionate about and really enjoy. I've gotten to meet all kinds of people that normally wouldn't be even consider themselves conservative and name a Republican, and they've realized that the direction the country's going. I'm a fan of it. The Democrat Party's not what they realized it was. So they come to our meetings just to learn and make new friends. So it's been eventful. We've had a lot of events, a lot of successes, learned a lot of things along the way. Wouldn't trade it for the world, and real excited to see what the future holds there as well.
And I enjoyed the one that you had at Surrounding Apartment Complex.
Absolutely. That was a good one. I appreciate you participating. We have a lot of great debate, a lot of good questions asked, a lot of good back and forth. I think there's a lot to be learned even in those kinds of situations. Even if you have somebody that has one opinion and somebody with a different opinion, it's great to see where people stand. And even as a candidate, you can learn a lot. So I think those are wonderful things.
Yeah, and also that was a real treat to the Post-Courier and Fox.
Yeah, absolutely. You never know. So
yeah, so that was good. Yeah, I hope y'all continue to have those as well. Heard it's not a good one too with the Pickens City Council.
We did. That was a good one. We had a big crowd at that one. And, it's not always about the crowd size, because sometimes we'll have a light crowd, but we'll part of as well so people can watch them later. The real thing and our real goal is to be a resource for better education. It's easy to go to your city council race and say, hey, I don't know who to vote for, I don't know where they stand. We hope to be a that allows people to get into us, be a resource and say, hey, where do these people stand on these issues? What do they believe? Let's learn a little bit about them. And I think we do a pretty good job of doing that, and that's what we'll continue to do.
Yeah, and Rick Tate, is he like your Vice chairman.
Vice chairman. So I serve as the chairman, Rick's our vice chairman, but it's certainly not a play show by any means. It's a team effort. John Schaefer does our audio and video, records all that for us. Bonnie Hiltner helps as well. We got a number of people. I don't even want to listen a lot because I forget some. But it's certainly a team effort. We all work really well together, all having a single focus of educating the voters. Allowing a platform for conservative people to, share their message and then educating voters. So it's a great group. I'm real excited to be a part of it.
Yes, yeah, that's one thing. When Rick Tate, he was the chairman of Pickens GFP, he had a lot of town halls.
Absolutely.
Glad that
he was successful.
Yeah, I know he had to leave up for personal reasons, but glad to see that he's back. He's back.
He's a good one. I certainly appreciate him and all he does for sure.
Yeah, and so the other thing I was going to mention is in the next 4 years, where do you see Pickens County moving? Like what direction you see it moving?
Yeah, so Pickens County, there's been a lot of change. We've got some changes on county council. I've been able to serve on the planning commission for the last little stretch, and we've been looking at modifying the UDSO. I'm sure you see it too. There's a lot of traffic, a lot of people moving here. So I think it's important for council to have a focus and understanding of who we are as a community, whether that be Clemson, Easley, Pickens, Liberty, Central, Daconsville. Each of these places are unique, but we're all kind of part of one team. And we want to make sure that whatever happens, we don't lose that. So each place has its own unique identity. The county has a unique identity. We don't want to change that because people are moving here. And obviously, we don't want to deal with a ton of traffic. So I think that's an area that I think council is focused on, has been focused on, controlling that growth, making sure things don't go crazy or go haywire. Like I said, we're going to have a few new council members. I get to speak to most of them. I think there's probably one or two that I got to speak to. Seem like wonderful people. I'm real excited to see what they do. Seem to all work pretty well together. So hopefully, the progress that we made will continue, and we'll still see Pickens County as kind of the shining example of the state.
Yes, yeah, we don't want to be like Woodruff Road.
Right.
We have bigger parcels on the side of the road.
Absolutely.
They don't have anywhere to go. These neighborhoods being from.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of those things, the wildlife's around us. They've been here for thousands of years before we ever got here. Just because you build a house somewhere doesn't mean that they're going to leave. And then the traffic, that's kind of one of my pet peeves. And one of the things that I find frustrating is having to sit in traffic. And there's a lot of things that go into that. But I really just want to make sure we don't lose our communities as they are.
Right. Someone told me, I forgot what his name was, but he said that that city of Clemson is having like a sewage problem.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And I don't, this is one of those things I may want to double check my numbers, but they heard that they had issues with their sewage system, that they have approved more than they have allocated or available in the plant, which is serious issues because, I'm not a sewage expert, but I know that to build a plant takes quite a while. So if you end up allowing more than you can support, it can cause some real issues.
Right. Yeah, a lot of these cities, especially in developing countries, they have a lot of issues compared. That's the disease spread just because of all the overpopulation.
Absolutely. Yeah, you put a bunch of people on one area, and it's just one of those things. You just flu season, get right on top of everybody, just spread it around. So that's just how it is.
Right. So yeah, hopefully the new county council coming in, I know they probably made some efforts too this past council that we can continue to have like growth for control growth.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and with a couple of the seats flipped too, how do you see county council in the next 4 years? Do you think there's going to be a change in like the chairman and also the county administrator?
Yeah, I would say chairman, there's a really good chance that it'll change, especially when you have that much turnover. As far as administrator goes, it'd be tough to say because I haven't talked to them as far as like their opinion, how they want to fill that role. If they want to continue with Mr. Roper or look at somebody else. I know that's usually a contractual based agreement, so he's got a number of years on that. But it wouldn't surprise me at all to see some new changes in the chairman role.
Yes, there's been rumors that out to say that he said that he was wanting to put his name in the hat for the chairman position.
Yeah, if I was I'm not a bet man, but if I was, I think that'd be the one I'd put my money on.
Yes, I'm curious. So they vote on that, right?
That's correct. Yeah, so the council will come together and they'll vote, and it's I think it's a 50+1 situation. So they'll probably end up talking behind the scenes, I guess, in a way through where people align, and then they'll end up electing the chairman, whether that be Councilman Bowers as it is now and continue, Councilman Saylor, or even somebody else. They'll probably be deciding that. I would imagine probably in the short term, coming up in January when the new seats are filled.
That's good. That's interesting to see how that'll turn out.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what are your thoughts overall on the elections in general for 2024? Like, I mean, that's full national, state, all.
Yeah, so I would say we'll start at the national. I was, obviously as a conservative, very excited to see Donald Trump win. We were talking earlier. He's one of those that, he does some things and maybe says some things that are less than I do. I've heard it described. He's a hammer looking for a nail. When he gets a nail, it's really satisfying. But every once in a while, it's oh, what did you do? But I care about governments and policy, and he's really good on that. Obviously, I can find some things I can disagree with him on, but overall, I think he does an excellent job. I'm excited to see some cuts in the federal government because I think the federal government is way too big and spending way too much money. Certainly spending more than they take in. So really excited about that. Looks like we got the House and the Senate as well. Might have some battles to do in the Senate to get some confirmations in, but all in all, real excited. State and local, we didn't have a ton of, or at least at the state level, I can't think of a ton of contested seats we had. Looks like we maybe added a few in the state legislature on the Republican side, which is always great. And then here in local races, there were a couple of, I know Pickens had some city council. We had, I don't know if Easley had any races this time, did they? They're all here.
No, next year.
No, next year. Pickens was the one I followed the closest because it's where I live now. But I kind of keep an eye on the rest of the county. I wasn't too surprised with Mr. Halfacre winning in Clemson. I'm not quite as in tune in that community, but people I heard from seemed to be a big fan of his. So it wasn't too surprised. And then we had some really hotly contested races in Pickens for city council. I think that all in all went really, really well. I didn't talk to all but one of the candidates, and they seem like really good, genuine people. Even if I agree or disagree on certain issues, they seem like decent people. So excited to see what comes of that as well.
Right, and I interviewed Jessica Merrill.
Yeah.
It was like one of 6 candidates at the time.
Yeah, they would say you could have had a month's worth of content off of that. Yeah, she was at our candidate forum, did an excellent job. Honestly, I think they all did a really good job. But yeah, there's a lot of people in those races.
Yes, and I was happy for her, even though she came up short, but she still got in 3rd place, and I was pretty good for her.
Yeah, that's one of the things I always tell people when I talk to people that are running, because I do campaign work. I say, look, you may not win the first. And that's okay. I mean, most people don't. The first one's really a big learning experience, getting to know people. And that second time is going to be that much easier because you're going to know that much more and know that.
Right. And that's something I'm keeping in mind, too. Like, I'm not trying to make my next move next year while people my name is still fresh.
Absolutely. I think I won't say it's the worst thing, but, I see a lot of candidates still get discouraged if they don't win and they'll say, I'm done with it. It's understandable because, you put into it. I'm sure I know that firsthand. But at the same time, you're so much better set up still at it.
Yeah, definitely it takes recovery.
Yeah, it does. It does. You need about 2 or 3 months, maybe longer, just to kind of unwind and decompress more than anything.
Yeah, I have a runner's body. I feel like I had to loosen a couple backflips.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, just the diet, just try to eat whatever you can.
Yeah, just kind of grabbing your fast food on the go and eat between things and rock and roll.
Yeah, so that's how I do it. I'm probably.
There you go. Have some crackers.
Yeah, that'll be definitely a lot better than what I was doing.
That's right.
Yeah, so the other thing I was going to mention is, a lot of us have followed your Facebook posts over the past month or so. So what are your plans for the future?
So actually, I've got a announcement coming up. I am going to run for office. I will tell you that much. The seat's still a secret right now. Some people may know, but that is pending. That's something I've spent a lot of time preparing for and praying for. It's a issue that's really, really close to my heart. A set of issues that are really close to my heart. Something I really care about because I love this place. I love this community. I love Pickens County, and I want to see it be the best it can be. So I will be having an announcement maybe in January. We'll see how things go, but. Have an announcement pending, and hope that everybody that's out there, you give me a follow on the Facebook page to stay up to date on that. But there should be some news coming on that very soon.
Well, that's good. And I'll be patient too. I'll wait.
I may give you an off screen heads up on it.
Okay, that sounds good. Yeah, if you do, I'll make sure to keep quiet.
Thank you.
Yeah, so how do you think the reorg is going to look like for Pickens County? I believe that's in March of next year.
Yeah, that's coming up in March. That's honest to goodness, in my political history, reorgs are honestly, for me anyway, the hardest to predict because it's a little bit different than an election because I can go knock on somebody's door, they know it's their civic duty to vote, and I can convince them to go vote. To convince somebody to come to a reorg meeting and then come to a convention, it's really hard to do. So it's really, it's almost like you take a bunch of marbles in a bucket, shake them up and throw them on the floor and see where they land. It's really hard to tell where it's going to go. So that's one of those, I could see there being a complete turnover, and I could see things being exactly the same, as they are. I could see it being a mix too. So you have like some candidates that are in one camp, we'll say, and some that are another camp being split. It's could go any which way, in my opinion.
Right. I hope it's hard. I hope there is some kind of unification. I feel like the Republican Party in general, there's a lot of petty stuff going on, and
Yeah, absolutely. Because I think we as conservatives, we care so much about our ideas and what we believe. And speaking of myself as well, it's easy to get cubby holed into the corner and say, "Hey, I'm right, you're wrong." Agree with me. If you don't, then you're crazy. Whatever it may be. I think it's important for us as conservatives to remember we're on the same team. If we miss on one issue or two issues, that's okay. If we agree on 80% of things, that's even 60% is more than most people. So I think that's real important, self included, to make sure that we're unified when we can be. If we can't, we have healthy debate, and then don't become enemies over it.
Right. Yeah. And just going to the state convention, I was amazed at how divided it was.
Yeah. I didn't get to go to it myself. I heard it was quite the sight to see.
Yeah, a lot of people they got on the taking GOP no for voting for Jeff Davis. I feel like a lot of people did that. And the overall result, I feel like it was like a 60-40 vote.
Yeah, it was pretty tight. Yeah, I think you're right in that range. It was like 60-40, 55-45. I can't remember the exact numbers, but it was relatively close.
Yes, man. I'm curious to see what it'll be like this time.
Yeah, time will tell. It's not that far away.
Yeah. So is there anything else that you'd like to tell our viewers, or also your constituents, to be on the lookout for in the next few months?
Yeah. Honestly, I appreciate you having me on tonight. We were talking before, I love podcasts. I love this medium. I'll tell them, hey, come on the show. Mason's Invite Show. Wonderful to talk to. Have a great environment, beautiful downtown Greenville. No, in all seriousness, I appreciate you having me on. Just I guess a little bit about me. Spent my whole life here in Pickens County. Went to Liberty High School, graduated from there, went on to Clemson University, and my passion and care is with the community. I want to see this place be as good as it was when I grew up. So when my kids come through these schools, when my kids are going to these local restaurants and these local stores, they still have those places to go. They still have the safety. They can leave it. They don't have to worry about walking downtown, somebody coming and picking them up or trying to rob them. I want our communities to be the best it can be in all regards. And I think that we've got a lot of people within the county that same vision and are on the same page. So I think, the best is just yet to come for us, and looking forward to see what the future holds.
Yeah, I'm hoping we do get back to more simple times. I remember my grandparents were telling me, like, in the 50s and 60s, you used to be able to leave the door open.
Yeah, it's people wouldn't, and that's part of living in a trust society. You can leave your wallet counter at the restaurant. Somebody's not going to take. And that's something that even in my opinion goes beyond politics. It's more about culture, the community, and the young boys and girls raising up. What are we teaching them is value. And those are issues that, and even you see in education. Sure, my mom was a teacher. The success of a student oftentimes depends on the parents. So you can teach them and attempt to teach them, but if the parents don't care, they don't instill that value, it doesn't go very far. So I think a lot of the issues we see point back at the home, and I would love to, support that anyway I can. I know there's not a government answer to that, but anything that we can do in the government realm to support those values and those kinds of upbringings, I think would be a win for us as a whole.
See, that's amazing when we're trying parent meetings and the parent groups, something they know shows, and the next week they know shows.
Yeah.
How can they
find it? I know that's it's kind of it's wild, because I know my mom's told me stories, and I've heard stories, parents showing up drunk or on drugs, strung out, and it's like, well, it's good there, but would prefer them not to do that, because that kid's being brought up in that environment, and honestly, that's our future, and that's what really matters.
Right. Actually, before J.D. Vance ran for vice president, I enjoyed that book. Maybe that's helped out.
Yeah, that's wonderful. I'm a big J.D. Vance fan. Probably bigger than most, I guess, now. But He's absolutely awesome. Even on if I find an issue I disagree with him on, his ability to articulate his message and explain why he feels the way he feels is something I really appreciate. I think I'm missing. Hoping to see more of that as he stays involved.
Yeah, I really enjoyed him and Tim Walz debate. I feel like
Yeah.
that was a debate of stuff
Oh yeah,
any name calling.
yes,
Yeah.
especially, and that's what I appreciate here locally. I feel like most of the time that's the case. People see politics and they see the national scene and they kind of apply that to what they expect in local races, and that's sometimes not the case. You're gonna have a little bit, clash of personalities, things like that happens. But overall, all in all, I think that we're really respectful and care for one another in this community.
I agree 100%. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what happens in this week.
Absolutely, me too.
Yes, well, Clay, I appreciate you coming here tonight.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
That's really enjoyed. I enjoyed it, and I look forward to having you again in the future.
Absolutely. I'll be back anytime.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, y'all.
And that concludes our show for this evening. If you have not already, feel free to click, like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and also follow our Facebook page as well for further updates. I hope that everyone enjoyed the show this evening, and stay safe if you have any plans for Thanksgiving. And good night to all, and God bless America. Thank you.